Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. I want you to grab a mental marker and imagine we're stepping up to a blank whiteboard together. Today, we're demystifying a software architecture concept that honestly sounds a lot more intimidating than it really is, the composite design pattern. As your mentor today, my promise to you is that we're going to completely strip away the complex developer jargon and build a very clear, visual understanding of this pattern together. So, let's dive right into this. All right, so here's our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with Chapter 1, the real-world corporate analogy. Then we'll move into Chapter 2, how the concept works. And finally, Chapter 3, the takeaway, which covers exactly when to use it. So let's jump right into Chapter 1, the real-world corporate analogy. Okay, I actually want you to completely clear your mind of programming just for a second. Ask yourself, how do you manage an entire corporation? I mean, really visualize a massive organizational structure. You've got these huge departments, right? Human resources, engineering, sales. Inside those massive departments, you have middle managers. And under those managers, you have individual employees doing the day-to-day grind. Now, imagine you're the CEO. If you're trying to calculate, say, the total salary cost of your company or assign a new company-wide policy, how do you handle the fact that some of your pieces are single individuals and other pieces are massive departments made up of hundreds of people? Let's actually draw this out on our mental whiteboard. Imagine I'm drawing a box right at the very top for the CEO. Then I draw lines branching downwards to 3 more boxes. Those are our massive departments. From each of those departments, lines branch down to middle managers, and from them, even more lines branch out to dozens of individual employees. Basically, what we've just drawn is a standard org chart. But what this perfectly illustrates is that an organization is simply composed of different layers of employees working together. Some are groups, and some are just individuals. Now let's look at a really interesting comparison. Think about an individual employee versus a manager. On the surface, a manager with 100 subordinates seems fundamentally different from an entry-level worker with 0 subordinates, right? But let's look a little bit closer at their core features. An individual employee has a salary, they have specific responsibilities, and they report to someone. Now look at the manager. The manager also has a salary, they also have responsibilities, and they also report to someone. Structurally, they are incredibly similar. The only real difference is that the manager contains other employees. They share the exact same foundational traits. Keep this similarity locked in your mind because honestly, it is the secret key to unlocking this entire software pattern. Moving right along to Chapter 2, how the concept works. Let's take that corporate analogy we just drew on our whiteboard and see how it translates directly into software design behind the scenes. Here's the formal technical definition. The composite pattern lets clients treat individual objects and compositions of objects uniformly. Okay, let's stop right there and bust that jargon immediately. When they say compositions of objects, they literally just mean a group, like our massive department. When they say individual objects, they mean our single entry-level employee. And that fancy word uniformly, that just means in the exact same way. So in plain, simple English, this pattern lets your software manage a massive, multi-layered department the exact same way it manages a single employee. You don't need to write different logic for the group than you do for the individual. You just ask for the salary, and the pattern handles whether it's looking at one person or automatically adding up 1,000 people. Let's physically map this out by building what programmers call a tree structure from the bottom up. Step 1 is our leaf on the tree, the individual employee. Step 2, we group those employees under a manager to create a department. This department is essentially a branch on our tree. Step 3, we group all those departments together to form the entire organization, branching all the way up to the CEO at the very top. You know, a tree structure is literally just our corporate org chart flipped upside down. When we design software this way, we can conceptually summarize the system like this. We define a basic employee template, we create different types of employees based on that template, and then we create an organization container that just groups them all together. So when the software runs, you can tell the overarching organization to do something, and that command just cascades automatically down the tree, from the department to the manager, right down to the individual employee. Which brings us to our final chapter, Chapter 3, the takeaway, or exactly when to use this. We've made some really great progress here, but understanding how a pattern works is only half the battle. The mark of a truly great developer is knowing exactly when to actually use it, so you don't end up over-engineering your software. Let's look at this formal quote from Wikipedia. It says, "The intent of a composite is to compose objects into tree structures to represent part-whole hierarchies." Now that we have our whiteboard mental framework, this makes total sense, doesn't it? A part-whole hierarchy is just a fancy academic term for our corporate org chart. The part is the single employee. The whole is the entire department or organization. The whole intent of this pattern is simply to allow you to build those cascading tree structures seamlessly. So the absolutely crucial point here is knowing when to apply this logic in your own projects. You should use the composite pattern specifically when your data looks like a tree, when you have those part-whole hierarchies. You use it when you desperately need your software to treat a massive group and a single individual identically, without having to write a bunch of messy if-then statements, checking whether you're looking at a manager or a regular worker. But, and this is a very important but, you must avoid this pattern if your data structures are completely flat. If you just have a simple, straight list of items that don't contain other items, using the composite pattern is completely overkill. It's just going to make your code needlessly complicated. You always want to match the tool to the shape of your problem. And I think this brilliantly illustrates the power of good design. It's really about recognizing patterns in the real world and mapping them cleanly to our work. As we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on. How can you apply this organizational logic to simplify your current projects? Take a hard look at the software or the systems you're building right now. Are there hidden part-whole hierarchies? Are you writing overly complicated logic to handle groups versus individuals when you could just treat them uniformly? Keep your eyes open for those branching trees. Thank you so much for stepping up to the whiteboard with me today. I really hope this helped clarify the composite pattern for you. Keep learning, keep organizing, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.